Are you curious about the differences between an espresso single-serve espresso machine and a Dolce Gusto single-serve coffee and espresso machine? Well, we're going to talk about that today here on Aromacup.com. Hi everyone, I'm Brian with Aromacup.com. Thanks as always for joining me here in my virtual coffee shop brought to you by Aromacup.com. Today I'm showing you the differences between the Nespresso line of single-serve espresso machines and the Nescafe line of Dolce Gusto single-serve coffee and espresso machines. Let's talk first about the similarities between these two lines. Both, of course, are single-serve machines. They're made to be quick and easy when you just need a cup of coffee, espresso, or etc. Both of them have water tanks attached to the bottom or to the back of them, so that's going to, of course, give you quick access to just simply brewing a cup of coffee. Both of them have pretty simple 1 or 2 button operation. The operation of brewing with each one is a little bit different, and it's going to differ, especially on the Nespresso side, depending on the machine that you choose. But there's always going to be pretty much that sameness of choose what size you want to brew and then brew it. Both of them have removable drip trays. Both of them use some kind of proprietary pod to brew their coffee. In the case of the Dolce Gusto, it uses the Dolce Gusto single-serve pod. I actually have an espresso pod right here. Now the Dolce Gusto machine will make both espresso and coffee. Over here on the Nespresso machine, you can use the Grand Cru capsules made by Nespresso. You can also use premium Nespresso compatible pods by a company like Highline Coffee, which is what I have right here in your Nespresso machine. And these pods, again, they're proprietary. They're only going to work in the Nespresso machines. But you do get a good variety of different types of espresso you can make, but you're only going to make espresso on this side. With the Nespresso machines, they're not really made for making coffee. You can make Americanos, things like that. That's where we start to get into, obviously, the differences between these machines. Obviously, their pods are different, and the way that they brew is a little bit different. Again, I have right here a DeLonghi style machine from Nespresso, which has more bells and whistles than your average Nespresso machine. The Dolce Gusto line is pretty straightforward when it comes to having about the same brew settings and brew operation on the Dolce Gusto side. And we're actually going to talk about brewing because that's where things are a little bit different. So let's dive in and talk about differences in brewing between these two machines. Let's start off with just brewing some espresso using our Nespresso machine. I'm going to use a premium Nespresso compatible capsule by Highline Coffee. I'm going to drop that into the machine, lock down the brew lever, and I'm going to choose the size that I'm going to brew. I'm going to go ahead and just brew an espresso shot. Again, simple 1-button operation on the Nespresso machine. Pretty straightforward and easy. One big difference between Nespresso to Dolce Gusto is that on the Nespresso side, we cannot do a cold brew. The Dolce Gusto machine has the ability to do a cold brew because it has 2-button operation, but one of those buttons is for brewing a cold brew. The Nespresso machine does not have that. Most Nespresso machines are going to have at least 2 buttons, usually for brewing, and that's going to give you espresso and lungo. Those options, again, will change a little bit depending on the machine. If you want to check out all the Nespresso offerings, you can check out all of our reviews here on Aromacup.com. We got plenty of videos to show you on the Nespresso line. But as a quick comparison, again, there's a little bit of a difference there, being able to do a cold brew on the Dolce Gusto side. Speed, still very quick. That's a shot of espresso from the Nespresso machine. I got that done really quick and easy, and all I had to do was drop a pot in and start brewing. On the Dolce Gusto side, it's a little bit different. There's a brew lever here, but the actual receptacle for my pod is this tray that slides out from the machine. I'm going to select my Dolce Gusto espresso pod. Now here's where things are, again, different when it comes to brewing. On each Dolce Gusto pod, you're going to find this small bar indicator. That bar indicator is actually going to tell you how you should set your Dolce Gusto machine for brewing, and let me show you what I mean by that. Drop your pod into the tray, slide the tray into the machine, and lock down that lever. This is going to lock that lever and get the machine ready for brewing. Now, you're going to notice I have this small LED screen right here It's more of an LCD screen actually on the Dolce Gusto. Now I have this wheel on the top of the machine. By turning that, you're going to see that I'm going to get these bar indicators that look just like the ones on my Dolce Gusto pod. All I'm going to do here is set this to match up with the same bar setting that was on that pod I just inserted, which in this case was an espresso pod. It had two bars. I'm going to set the machine to that, and then I'm going to press the brew button. Again, you can see brewing happens really quickly because there's a water tank attached to the machine. The brew process just immediately starts up. The machine is hot and ready to go. And comparably, between the two of these, I will show you the difference between the two of these side by side when it comes to the espresso brewed from each one. There's a little bit more here, obviously, on the Dolce Gusto side. I could adjust that quantity of water if I wanted to. But comparatively between the two, it's pretty much about the same when it comes to the look. I have a crema on both sides. I've got that nice layering happening. The flavor between the two, I can tell you, has always been pretty impressive. The Dolce Gusto makes a nice cup of coffee, and the Nespresso machines have always made great shots of espresso, and you can see side by side pretty much the same with the exception of volume, of course. Other than that, not too much difference here. So obviously quick single serve ease on both of these. There is a little bit of a difference on cleanup. On the Dolce Gusto, you're going to need to open up and just get rid of that pod. Whereas over here on the Nespresso machine, I'm just going to open up my brew lever, close it back down, that pod gets dropped into the spent pod collector right here, and then I can pull that out and empty that later. But it's not really a big difference when you're talking about cleanup between these two. Now, of course, price is another place where you're going to find a comparison. Let's talk firstly about capsule and pod price. Now, if you're talking about the capsules that are made specifically for, let's say, the Nespresso machine, which uses these Grand Cru capsules from Nespresso, and again, you can only use the proprietary capsules for the Dolce Gusto machine right now. There is not a compatible option such as these premium compatible capsules for Nespresso by Highline Coffee. If you're talking strictly about price when it comes to those pods made by these companies for their machines, about 60 cents per pod. Not too bad when you come right down to it. If you go with a compatible option, such as those from Highline Coffee for the Nespresso machines, you're looking at about 50 cents a pod. That's pretty good to be able to get a nice shot of espresso from your machine. The other big thing here, though, of course, is your initial investment in the machine. What's the price difference there? On the Nespresso side, you're looking at a price range starting at about $100, moving all the way up to about $500. So that's a big price difference. And as you go up higher, you get different options with your machine and things like that. On the Dolce Gusto side, a lot of the machines are very much the same. Again, I've got reviews of all the Dolce Gusto machines here on Aromacup.com, but the pricing is going to go all the way from the low side of 30 bucks, which is pretty great when you come right down to it, going all the way up to about $200. That's not too bad when you're talking about getting into the initial investment for a machine. But that leads me into my bottom line. What is my bottom line on these two style machines compared to each other? My bottom line is that if you like to have some variety in your espresso that you're going to be making with your machine, you probably want to lean towards the Nespresso side, because again, there's a lot of different types of capsules you can get, whether they be the compatible capsules such as those from Highline Coffee, the Grand Cru capsules from Nespresso. You have a lot of different options, a lot of different flavors you can toy around with. On the Dolce Gusto side, you just don't have that right now. It's pretty limited, there aren't as many pod types, but if you're okay with that, the initial cost of this machine is so low that you can get started very, very easily, start getting that single serve ease. And that's really my ultimate bottom line, is single serve ease on both of these. And that's what I really like. I'm gonna get a good cup out of either one, I'm gonna get it fast, and I'm gonna get on with my day. And that's what I really like. That's what we tell you about here at Aromacup.com. Now, if you want to find out how you can get these machines, add them to your own at-home coffee shop, check out the link in the description of our video. Of course, visit us on Aromacup.com, where we're going to tell you how you can add these machines to your own at-home coffee shop and get the best price while you're doing that. So there you have it, guys. That is the Dolce Gusto line of single-serve coffee makers from Nescafe compared to the Nespresso line of single-serve espresso makers from, of course, Nespresso. I hope you guys found this useful, but if you have questions, comments, anything else, leave them for me here in this video, or of course join us on Aromacup.com. Until next time, guys, I'm Brian, coming to you from my virtual coffee shop brought to you by Aromacup.com. I want to remind you to enjoy your cup, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Which Dolce Gusto single-serve coffee machine is best for you? We're going to help you answer that today here on Aromacup.com.